Chapter 6. Welcome back to my channel as we review, discuss my best-selling book, Addicted to Being Broke. Let's talk about eradicating the poverty mindset. We're in chapter 6 and the title is The Solution. I opened this chapter with advising that if you need help, whether it's going to be financial support or just moral support or information that's going to help you, make sure you go and get it. Don't sit around in worry or in stress and not knowing what to do. Just go out there and find the help that will get you to the next step. Part of finding a solution is addressing your debts. So if you have money coming in, but most of it is all going out, is it to your just reoccurring bills, or do you have other things that you're paying for, trying to catch up, such as credit cards, store cards, catalog, credit, different things that don't form part of your priority bills, such as your rent or your mortgage, your council tax, and your electric, gas, those kind of bills. If you have that and a lot of that is taking up your money, it's important for you to address the issue. So I started finding my solution by contacting my creditors. That was not an easy task because you know they've been sending you letters after letters. I just kept on ignoring them to the point where I found myself in this kind of situation. So part of the solution was starting to contact them, and it can be a little bit scary. Thinking about calling them to explain to them you can't pay the bills right now, you're going through financial difficulties. Can they assist you, or is there anything they can do to help you? Some organizations have things in place that they can help you with, but some don't. And I've heard some companies are quite brutal. So it's just like, pay us or your account's going to the collectors. And at that point, you're just calling them to see like, okay, what's the minimum I can pay? And they may not accept the minimum. And in this process as well, if they're calling you, answer the phone. I don't know why I used to feel like, oh my days, I can't talk to them. They're actual people working for a company. So it's important to pick up the phone and keep that line of communication open, because a lot of times is when there's no communication that things escalate. Well, see if you can speak to them and find out what's the best way forward. You're more than likely going to buy yourself more time. In this chapter, I write about part of the reason why I got into the financial problem. Let's say I'd get paid on a Friday and the bills don't go out till the Monday. So over that weekend, I felt like I had money to spend, but the reality is no, you didn't. And obviously, as I said, I was much younger and going out, partying, enjoying myself seemed like a good idea. But obviously it was not, because when Monday came, those bills were not paid. And then a few days later, you'd get companies starting to call you, oh, your payment was missed. And the worst is your priority debts, and you don't want to be in that situation. So learn from me and don't get into that situation. Prioritize your priority outgoings, such as your rent, mortgage, your council tax, the things that are going to impact your life. We discussed this in different chapters, where there's things that will impact your life and there's things that will impact your credit file. And obviously, if you've got things like mortgage, if you miss that, that would impact your credit file as well. But the biggest impact could be you don't have the roof over your head. So that is so much more important than your credit card. Part of the solution was finding discipline to make sure that I'm paying the bills that I'm supposed to pay at the time I'm supposed to pay them. And it's not an overnight process. It is difficult, because if you're still in the place where you're not earning enough money, there's still no solution. So in the midst of trying to work out how to earn more money, it's important to make sure you have the discipline to pay the things you need to pay for with the money that you have, but prioritizing what's most important. Another thing I talk about in this chapter is if you're in a place where you're relying on government benefits to help you with your rent and your council tax and just your day-to-day living, it's good because, as in, we're blessed to be in this country and they're able to offer you that support. But if you can, try not to plan to stay on that support. Like, the aim is to work your way out so that you don't need that support anymore, because it could be something, and I've seen a lot of people get into serious problems with their payments just stopping, and then you're not paying your rent, you're not paying your council tax, and then you get into this whole situation where the debt is just too much for you to then recover. Whilst if you can get to a place where you take control of those payments yourself from your income, then it's one less problem. Yes, it's a lot of money you'll have to pay up by yourself, but it's also just taking accountability for your own life, and it does feel good. Where I was, it felt as though it's not possible, but I had a feeling within me that I knew it is possible. So being able to get out to the other side and live the life of it's being possible, it feels like such a great achievement. So do encourage yourself that you can do it. There is a way, and you will get there. Once again, if your main debt are these things like your rent or your council tax, contact your landlord, contact your local authority. There's people there you can speak to. As long as you keep an open communication, they more than likely can help you. Just don't ignore the letters. Don't ignore them. Part of the solution that I write about as well is getting a copy of your credit report. So your credit report is it's like your financial status that's been reported to all your different companies, all the different companies that you owe money to or you have credit with. It's all reported on there. So being able to get a copy of it allowed me to see exactly who do I owe money to, who do I need to pay first, how much is everything correct on the report as I know it to be, and taking action from there. Sometimes there could be companies chasing you, but the debt is over 6 years and there was no communication within the 6 years, so it's not on your credit report anymore. Those ones are not as much of a priority. So you focus on the ones that are on your credit report and how you can fix them. Working on the solution, there's so many different ways. As I always say, online there's a lot of information available. I was able to tap into the information available online to help me be more knowledgeable when I'm contacting these creditors. There's also companies online which give you template letters that you can use to send to your creditors to explain to them that you're currently going through financial difficulties. There's so many ways to get around that solution, but the main thing is to remember that it's not overnight. It's a process that will take time. So don't give up, keep going, because you will get to the end and you will get to the other side as well. There's a great sense of security that you feel once you start to get on top of your debts and start to get on top of all these companies. Number one, the letters stop coming. 2, the phone calls stop as well. So there's no way to hide from it. The best thing to do is just literally face it head on and deal with it. Resolve it, speak to them, let them know where you're at, what's happening. You might have lost your job. They don't know unless you tell them. You may be off on maternity leave. They don't know unless you tell them. So many different things could be happening to you, but they just look at it as you don't want to pay. But sometimes if you let them know, it's not that I don't want to pay, I just can't pay right now. They might be able to find a solution to help you still keep that account open and it doesn't have a future negative impact on you. And part of the solution for me was to be in a place where, yes, I go to work, yes, I earn money, but it just doesn't go to paying bills. Just to get to a place where I'm able to book holidays again, be able to do weekend breaks, be able to go out to restaurants and eat. Small things that make you feel like you're on the right track. So that was a quick review of chapter 6. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, or as always, if you've got any comments, do write them below. And I will see you on my next video, which will be chapter 7.